Calling all Umis! Team Umi Zumi!
1, 2, 3, 4, Umi! Zumi! Umi! Umi, Zumi, Umi, Zumi!
What's up, Blue Jays? Welcome back to another episode of The Pulse. I'm Riker Butler.
And I'm Jackson Shuda.
Flashback to homecoming week. The junior high marching band played in the homecoming parade. We sent Aaliyah Robin to check it out.
Recently, the Bonneret Farrar 7th and 8th grade marching band participated in the homecoming parade. The marching band has been practicing for a couple of weeks to prepare themselves for the parade. They walked 1.5 miles playing their musical instruments, which is nearly a 30-minute walk, playing and carrying musical instruments. They went from the junior high all the way to Morris Elementary. Miss Breitbach tells us they chose the song Crazy Train, and the reason why was because it was fun and pushed them to work hard. They had a vote between a few songs, and most people chose Crazy Train. We interviewed Miss Breitbach to hear her experience.
Every year, our 7th and 8th graders do marching band because it is a part of our curriculum. And once they get up into high school, we want them to have a really good idea of what it's like to move and play their instrument at the same time. So the homecoming parade provides a perfect opportunity for a good learning environment, and we can also help share the awesome music with the rest of our community.
This has been Aaliyah Robin reporting for The Pulse.
Last week, the 8th grade volleyball team served up their last home game of the year. Linus Armstrong has those highlights.
This week on Monday the 7th, the 8th grade volleyball team lost their match against ADM.
After a close first set, the Jays lost 21-13. Here you can see Mason Wyand with a great dive to save the ball. Also, we got Mason herself to talk about how the game went.
I feel like we could improve on our communication and listening to the communication, because then the communication is pointless.
The second set had a score of 21-11. We interviewed Mason about the whole season.
I feel like we did pretty good this season. We ended the season 8-1, and I felt like we just played good overall. We had good defense, offense, serve, receive, serving in general, and anytime we would make a mistake, we could always get back up and fix it.
Ultimately, the Bondurant Farrar 8th grade volleyball team had a competitive game against ADM.
This has been Linus Armstrong reporting for The Pulse.
As the season was coming to a close, 7th grade football faced off against North Polk. Colton Thirlby has more.
On Tuesday, October 8th, the 7th grade football team took on North Polk at home. The Blue Jays fought hard, but sadly took a loss. The 7th grade team's defense started decent by holding North Polk scoreless for a few drives in the first quarter. They had a few sacks as well as a few good run attempt stops. When the Blue Jays got on offense, they tried their best to be able to move the ball against North Polk, but their defense was a little too strong for the Blue Jays to handle. Eventually, they would end up letting up a few touchdowns to North Polk, and the final score ended up being 28-0. Some of the key players in this game were Jackson Hausen and Caleb Guertine. Here is an interview with Jackson Hausen to get his thoughts on the game and some things they could improve on for their next game.
My thoughts on the game were it was kind of ugly, but it kind of sucks when we're small playing against a big team like North Polk, and I think that being more physical is a major problem that we have because we're not very physical, and I think that's probably part of the reason why we lost.
The 7th grade team gave their season a good run, but it has sadly come to an end. This has been Colin Thirlby reporting for The Pulse. Last Friday, the student council threw a pink out party. Grayson Skaggs brings you more on that story.
Last Friday, the student council members put together an exciting dance for the 7th and 8th graders to enjoy time with their classmates. A few weeks ago, the student council members sent out a poll to pick for the theme of the dance. In the end, the grades picked Pink Out. Last Friday, the student council members came back to school around 6 to get everything ready for the big night ahead. The kids that are a part of student council worked hard on decorating the hallways, multipurpose room, and lunchroom with exciting bright pink colors.
Thought it would be fun to hang out with the kids, and the activities are fun to do.
The student council members and Miss Hurley worked together at the check-in and went around helping anyone who had questions.
At the dance, I set up lights at the concession stand and blew up balloons.
After the dance, the student council members stayed till 9 to help take down decorations and clean up. The student council doesn't just put on dances. Friday, November 15th, the student council members will be volunteering at the Food Bank of Iowa and will be donating $1,000. This has been Grayson Skaggs reporting for The Pulse.
What do you call a sheep that can sing and dance? Lady Baba.
Why can't a leopard hide? Because he is always spotted.
What do you call a fishing rod that you put in the oven? A hot rod. Why did the coach put the frog in the outfield? Because he's good at catching flies.
I went to go find camouflage pants. I couldn't see any.
Why did a zombie take a nap? Because he was dead tired.
What do the Dallas Cowboys and Chick-fil-A workers have in common? They don't show up to work on Sundays.
I don't tell dad jokes more often, but when I do, he laughs.
Why couldn't the toilet paper cross the road? It got stuck in a crack. How did the barber win the race? He knew his shortcut.
Once I read a book about glue. I couldn't put it down.
Why can't you trust trees? They seem a bit shady.
Thanks for watching this episode of The Pulse.
See you next time.